All right, go ahead. Yep.
Call us to order.
Go ahead.
I'd like to, I forgot exactly where I started the message, so I'm going to begin at the beginning. What was Kennedy's response when he found out that the Bay of Pigs had been a failure that evening?
He took all full responsibility for it.
No, what did he do? I'm not saying what did he say that day, what did he do that evening?
He admitted that it was.
He admitted that he did.
That he had full responsibility.
What did he? Or you were in a meeting with him, with the Interior Secretary Stuart Udell, and what did Kennedy do when Udell tried to shift the blame to the CIA?
He said he got very angry, and he said that no, the blame is not anybody's but mine.
And since you were personal friends with Kennedy, what reasons can you give that he wanted to take the responsibility himself?
Because he felt it was his responsibility.
Objection. This is the opinion. You're asking for an opinion of the witness.
No, I'm not asking an opinion. I'm asking for an explanation of, since they were good friends, of what the reasons were behind his decision.
Objection.
Thank you. Did Kennedy take responsibility for failed policy or for the failure of the Bay of Pigs?
Failed policy.
Could you show evidence of that?
For example, right here. Well, there's evidence here where it says, while the President did not make the statement private to his associates, he was firm that as far as the public was concerned, failure of the operation was his responsibility and his alone.
Okay, that's failure of the operation. It's not a failed policy, then.
No, it's a
failure of an
operation.
operation.
Specifically, that it was a failed policy.
It's a failure. He told you. Okay, would you like to?
Well, he said that it was a failed policy. Have it underlined.
We have evidence about the question you're asking.
You can't use that evidence because Salinger did not say that quote.
Okay, it was said by Kennedy. We have evidence.
No, it was Salinger didn't stand. Bring it up with Kennedy didn't stand. No, you can't use it.
Why
They might see this books because your teeth took out all three of them.
can't we?
So if I clip somebody about something the evidence is irrelevant to this.
Student, what did Kennedy say?
All right, let me just while you're looking for that. Did Kennedy feel a personal attachment to the 114 soldiers at the Bay of Pigs?
Died, you mean?
That were captured, died, whatever. Cuban exile guerrillas, shooting fighters, whatever you want to call them.
Truly, I don't know.
What was the question?
But since he took full responsibility, I would assume that.
You felt a personal attachment to them.
I would assume. Truly, I don't remember. However, I would think that since he took full responsibility for the failure of the operation and the failed policy, that.
Well, I'd like to point out that you haven't proved that he took responsibility for a failed policy, only a failed operation, a policy which he did not start.
Well, I'm a witness attached to it.
Well, you haven't.
Well, he personally said it.
Okay. Were you did you have any official knowledge of the Bay of Pigs besides what Kennedy told you the night of the failure of the Bay of Pigs? The night of the day that.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Did you have any official knowledge of the Bay of Pigs? Did you know what was happening?
I only.
Were you fully briefed about the Bay of Pigs?
No, I was briefed after everything pretty much was set. Like the first I knew about it was on right before the attack. Kennedy told me it's a quote right here. I want you to stay close to home tonight because you have some inquiries from the press about a military affair in the Caribbean. if you do, just say that you know only what you've read in the newspapers. And this was true because I had not been present at the conferences that he had with with all his advisors and everything. I hadn't been present.
What is being presented by you? Is that the same thing? It's evidence.
You can even look at it if you like.
And right here it says, the president's cryptic call was my first official knowledge of the Bay of Pigs.
That was that evening.
It
It's
was,
the same book.
Oh, okay. She said the same thing. That's right.
Yeah, what she's saying is choice words. I'm showing
no,
you the whole
I'm saying
page.
exactly the same
Why don't
thing.
you read into evidence?
Well, as long as
No, wait, it's not.
okay. I think that's all I wanted to
I
ask.
want to read it best then.
Same thing as you.
That's it. Exactly.
You can sit down after that.
I think that's I believe it's
Prosecution rests.
We now like to call His Excellency, the former President of the United States, Dwight Eisenhower.
Yeah, Don.
Okay, would you please state your name for the record?
Dwight Eisenhower?
During your administration, what was, what were you told about things that were going on in Cuba at the time, in terms of Castro? What type of things was your CIA telling you about Castro's fiasco down in Cuba?
Well, I found out that Cuba was receiving aid from Soviet bloc countries, and they were getting weapons like during 1960, and that they had a loan from the Soviets in like $100 million or so.
And this disturbed you?
Yeah, because it showed that Cuba was getting tied to the Soviets.
And what proposal did your administration give to solve the solution of
Well, on
Castro's communism?
March 17, 1960, Richard Biscoe and Alan Dulles came to me and presented me with a 4-point plan.
Could you please read that 4-point plan for us?
It has 4 parts. 1, the creation of responsible and unified Cuban government in exile. 2, a powerful propaganda offensive. 3, a covert intelligence and action organization in Cuba that would be responsive to the government in exile. And 4, a paramilitary force outside of Cuba for future guerrilla actions.
When did the paramilitary force outside of Cuba start its training or start its...
As far as I know, as soon as I was able.
Okay. And could you tell us, okay. So in 1960, could you tell us what the plans were in terms of the invasion of Cuba?
Well, there were, as far as I know, there were people being trained, like Cuban volunteers were being trained, and they were preparing to go up for battle.
Yeah, I want to submit the evidence.
Did you speed or evidence?
What's that?
Did you
Yeah.
speed or evidence?
No.
Are you objecting?
They're just questions, so you can read them.
Yeah.
They're just questions, so you can read them if you want to. I know.
No, I mean before that.
Prosecution, you want to look at this?
Where were you in the heat?
If you already have it,
Mr. Eisenhower, could you please come this way?
So under your administration, a sports court invasion was prepared, and it was initiated for. It was prepared all by under your administration. Now, or
We request like 15-second recess.
Another rule that you recess, you got 3 minutes total time.
Is it our witness?
Oh, he's got 15
No.
seconds.
That it is hard to change a policy, covert or otherwise, inherited from the previous administration.
What's the question?
I think
You weren't listening.
you don't have a reference.
Do I have to repeat it?
No. Yes. No, we
Objection. What is she an expert in order to answer that?
This is direct examination after you reject anything.
Please repeat your question.
Objection is the leading question. That was an question.
It's hardly our experience.
Was
Was it was it within your experience? Yes or no? That it is difficult to alter or change an operation, covert or overt, that is inherited from another
Objection. Leading
administration.
question asks for a yes or no answer.
Wait a second. Wait. You can ask for a yes or no question.
No, it's leading. Objection.
I hardly think it's leading. Shut up.
Judge just sustained.
Was there anything to lead you to conclude that it is hard to inherit, that it is hard to change operations inherited from another administration? And by any chance was in your experience, did this occur many times?
Wait. Objection. Leading the witness again.
It's hard to leading the witness. You already answered yes to that question. I didn't object to, so what do we care? We got our points there. Prosecution. Your witness. Your witness. Damn.
Was the Cuban issue a high priority to you? The Cuban issue, that the things that were going on in Cuba?
I was concerned with, I don't know if I would classify it as high priority or not high priority, but I was concerned.
So this bothered you?
Yes.
Okay.
Contempt.
During your administration, was it planned? Was the invasion of Cuba planned? Was it planned to invade Cuba during your administration? Was it planned? So let me word this again. During your administration, was it planned for the invasion of Cuba?
There was a force set up outside of Cuba that, as far as I know, was going to be used to invade Cuba.
So
There was volunteers, there was training going on, and why else would they be being trained?
Well, why are you asking me? You're the president.
Objection. The question was obviously rhetorical.
All right. So you planned on having this invasion of Cuba. Now, did you ever oppose this plan? Or were you wholeheartedly for it? Or, were you for the plan of invasion of Cuba? Did you don't?
For the most part, yes.
So you never opposed it?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm trying to get that.
Because it's a question that I mean there might have been a point in his career where he might have opposed a military invasion of Cuba.
I'm just asking her a question.
Objection. Prosecution is trying to get her to first show. She said she sufficiently answered when she said that for the most part. I think that was an adequate answer. You keep on stressing that, obviously trying to browbeat the witness.
Would you please clarify your objection?
I'll clarify. He said, were you in support? Prosecution asked, were you in support of it? He said, were you in full support of it? Eisenhower responded for the most part, and then he continues with this line of questioning when obviously it's just a dead end. He's already received his answer, and any further questioning on it is browbeating the witness.
I'm going to a little bit, only because
Considering
legitimate.
the opponent, Eisenhower did state that was yes anyway, it doesn't matter. But going first.
Objection! Now you're trying to just change the record.
Forget it.
The judge has clearly heard it. Okay, you better get it.
Now at this point, I'd like to enter into evidence statement saying.
Mr. Mass.
Yes, sir.
Would you, your side, present your side of Mr.
There was an objection.
He just forget it.
What's the objection?
Well,
He gave it up, so
Right, sustained.
he gave it up.
He dropped it.
Professor's already answered.
Well, it's strictly.
Okay. An attempt. Okay, in attempting to reconstruct the process by which the special group made its decision, one impression comes through strongly. Dwight D. Eisenhower was not a major participant. Eisenhower himself has said publicly that there was no plan for an invasion while he was in office. That the only plan was then to train guerrillas. On this basis, I would like to.
I'd like to see.
I would like to charge perjury against him.
I never said that.
You said
I never said yes, it was going to be.
I'd like to see.
I said
you planned on that.
You can defend yourself. Calm down. Mike, speak up,
Your Honor,
please.
can I see the evidence and the page?
Yes, I'll show you.
And also like to have the date that was said, so.
Please have one with the
Let me finish entering the evidence.
All right, finish answering, then I'd like to see that.
Another piece of evidence says President Dwight D. Eisenhower knew none of this, and for good reason, he never gave Cuba high priority.
Your Honor, I would like to point out that his statements are false because in 1960, Operation Trinidad was initiated and prepared by Eisenhower, which was an invasion plan. Also, in 1960, he ordered the CIA to begin training, preparing guerrillas for invasion. That is a false statement. He's presenting information in a part.
It wouldn't define it.
Fine.
I'm simply reading the charge and presenting the evidence that is printed here.
You made no charge.
Okay. Also here it says,
Wait, Your Honor.
I know.
He answered questions. She
Mike,
answered them and
Michael,
brought the charge.
isn't one of their lawyers in contempt? They have three guys talking. Mike, Alex, and
the first question I asked her, I said, during your administration, was there ever a plan? That silent withdrawal.
Dan, sit down.
I know, wait.
I said, what else did you report?
Are you presenting perjury charges?
You said, yes, we planned on it. What else did they do for it?
Yes, she claimed, she didn't say she was consistently told.
Yeah, you were. One sentence answer.
Just sit down. Dan, sit down. Take a seat for a second. This is clearly an abrogation of justice. Right here we have proof of the 4-point plan. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Right here, to Eisenhower from Dulles and Richard Bissell on March 17th. The 4-point plan: 1, creation responsible of unified Cuban government; 2, a powerful propaganda offensive; 3, a covert intelligence and action organization in Cuba that would be responsive to the government in exile; and 4, paramilitary. This is the most important. Paramilitary force outside of Cuba for future real action. There's clearly a plan here. How are you trying to say that my witness is perjured when there clearly is a plan? What the level of importance really hasn't been commented on by President Eisenhower. All that's been commented is the fact that there was a plan, and he's just told the relative importance of it. He hasn't necessarily stressed it. So how can you attempt to give perjury charges against President Eisenhower?
When you finish, I'd like to enter this witness. And it says, when someone at subsequent National Security Council meeting spoke about a plan against Cuba, Eisenhower sternly objected. There was no plan, he said. There was only a program. To him, nothing called the program was simply hacks. When he insisted on, it goes on there.
No, a rose is a rose by any other name. Clearly there was a program.
Clearly it's
Again,
based.
it will be decided at the end of the
Clearly there's evidence.
Clearly we don't have to believe your charges.
Yeah. This will be.
Also, on this 4-point plan, I'd like to say there's a definite distinction between invasion and planning on the first.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, sir.
All this evidence will be considered at our final decision as the decision gets positive.
All right, I haven't finished entering the evidence. That's the problem. I haven't finished entering the evidence on this.
Those are the orange one and the white the accent.
Sorry.
Jeff, can you see your evidence?
There's 3 or 4 different ways to do it.
Any further?
They're all brackets,
Right here. I need it.
We've definitely been present for a while now.
Can I request a 15-second recess? So,
I would like to,
What sort of aid did this involve to the Cuban rebels?
All I know is that it was set up so that they would be trained. I'm not really sure.
With United States support?
I said that they should go ahead with it, so I guess.
A CIA plan to... And I would like to present right now the Article 15 of the OAS Charter, which states that no state or group of states has the right to intervene in any way, directly or indirectly.
Whoa. Objection. Clear objection, as Cuba was not even a member of the Organization of American States, having it
They weren't doing the
on the same
violating.
page. Keep that there, buddy. Once again, you present evidence to kill yourself.
Jeff, Cuba wasn't doing the violating. America was. Tell him, say that.
I like to present their own evidence for them. The OAS, it's in this very book. The OAS in 1960, Cuba
wasn't doing the
withdrew from the
violating.
Organization of American States, thereby making this entire policy here, which he's presenting to evidence.
Where is that?
moot.
When you find it, then...
Are you denying that? Are you denying that?
Well,
Then I'll
you're
stop
looking
you.
at the book right now. You can't slap a lawyer with perjury.
Jeff, say, does it matter if Cuba? The United States is a member of the OAS Charter. They're doing the violating. Well, then say it. Bring it up.
Yeah, they did. 1960.
Jeff,
They did.
Jeff, bring it up. Tell the judges. Jeff,
That's the Organization of American States.
Jeffrey, tell the judges. Say it doesn't matter if Cuba's a member of the OAS Charter. It's America was, and they violated. Well, tell them. Speak up, kids. Huh?
Real, which established the Organization of American States.
Hey.
March 29, 1960, Cuba withdrew from the treaty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's still American states.
Tell them it's irrelevant.
The United States was a signature.
How can Cuba how can Cuba be held under the umbrella of the Organization of American States if it's obviously not a member of it?
This was
March 29, 1960.
No, Cuba withdrew from the treaty. It's this treaty.
The Treaty of Rio was what established the OAS.
No, OAS was established in 1948. Wait.
Listen, I want to go get witness. I want to go get evidence from
Would you like to call it?
Go ahead. We're talking about the OAS, not the Treaty of Rio. It's a completely different thing. If you guys, I have a question.
First of all, you have to be down and write stuff. Second of all,
Yeah, can we have a photocopy? We're going to need a photocopy of that.
I'm making a motion that
Is this
down.
thing? What's the title of this video?
I know, yeah.
This isn't the way I
You guys either recess some, like, they're wasting tape. Either recess or do something.
Right.
You stop. Jeff, you gotta sit down.
Jeff, you can't be up there. Mike.
He called me up. What do you want me to do?
The mic has to go down.
No, he doesn't. He called me
He's
up.
not in charge. We're gonna have to get evidence. We have evidence to testify that they
Fine. It'll be considered along with,
And I would just like to say, even if Cuba did go out in 1960 when it was here, in February 24th, 1964, an OAS council
my
condemned
birthday.
Cuba here for something that was July 24th.
Make sure.
Just bring it up.
So in your
Okay.
What are your
and,
cards?
The Fed speech happened in 1961, did it not? And you were not president at that time, you were not. So you did not give the order for the actual attack on Cuba.
Not the actual attack, no, but I had planned. It was planned.
And so what you were saying is that you did not give the order for the invasion of Cuba.
No, I did not.
Do you know who did?
That's sheer speculation, as obviously you have no idea. Objection, yes, sorry.
Who was president at the time?
I believe it was John F. Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Paper.
Were you talking about, you said Cuba was given a loan of $100 million. Do you know what that loan is for?
I believe it was to purchase, like industrial products or something.
So that made you mad?
Well, it just made me worried that Cuba was further becoming involved with communists.
Yes, but did not the United States give loans? Isn't it customary to give loans to countries in order to help them out, to buy things?
Maybe it is. Hey, it worried me. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but it worried me.
Even though you did the same thing?
Yeah.
Could you briefly outline the plan for aggression against Cuba and your administration?
All I know is that there was training going on among the Cuban volunteers in Cuba. There was a force being set up outside as paramilitary force, as I said.
You do nothing else, but you authorized it.
I authorized to go ahead with the setting up of the plan.
And the 4 points were?
Yes. Yes.
Is that in fact the plan that was carried out on April 17, 1961?
Objection, Your Honor. Objection. The plan that was mentioned. Yeah, it was.
I can't speculate.
Speculation. It was said 4 times.
What do you know of the plan of the invasion that was carried out in April 17?
I really don't know.
Was this attack started under your administration?
There was training going on under the administration and forces set up outside of Cuba.
The forces that were trained, did they know what they were trained for?
They were volunteers. They knew what was going on. As far as I know, they were informed of what was going on down there.
So, were they in fact being trained for an invasion?
Well, if they were inside, if they were volunteers, it really wasn't an invasion. They were in Cuba. They were volunteers they were Cuban volunteers. So it was really wasn't an invasion, per se.
Okay, wait. Was it, okay. Of what you know, an invasion that was carried out, did it follow the 4-point plan?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm not going to
Speculation again of what you know.
What you know?
I
Speculation.
just said I don't know anything.
They didn't say what.
Brian, come here, Brian.
Jeff.
Oh, you reset this?
Yeah, okay. Do you know anything of the invasion of April 17?
Not really, because I was off vacation at the time.
I mean, you spoke with Kennedy afterwards.
Objection, Your Honor. They're talking about events that happened after the Bay of Pigs. This is about...
When's the trial?
It's irrelevant. Who cares what happened in 19...
No, he talked. They discussed
After the Bay of Pigs.
After
the Bay of Pigs. So what? That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
I said irrelevant.
So it's like talking about the Bay of Pigs in 1974.
Is he objecting or contesting?
If you clarify your point.
In the week after the Bay States principally met with President Eisenhower to discuss what happened under his administration.
Objection, Your Honor. It doesn't matter if it was a week after or 17 years after.
When did this trial take place?
1988.
No.
Is it
It's
taking place in 1988? Events up to 1963.
Day before Kennedy's assassination.
Whatever the date is on the, like,
1988. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, Your Honor.
So what did you discuss with President Kennedy?
Since it was so many years ago, I really can't
No,
recall.
this is not.
No, I don't know.
1988.
I just have something here with Chile, Cuba taking place, taking part in OAS.
Are you presenting evidence, or
I'm just, well, if you want.
are you just bringing it up to the judges and not giving us copies for presenting evidence?
I'm giving out
How many times did you give us copies?
Yes, that was in the middle of direct examination.
Say no, Mike.
The Congress decided on January 31st, 1962 by 14 votes to 1, that being Cuba in 1962 in the OAS. So they were still in the OAS at the time of the day of Pig's invasion.
No.
Yes, I defined the date later on, 1965.
Please do not submit any evidence without having copies.
Full date.
Both sides. That's getting a definite copy.
You said, Mr. Arson? Yes,
Wait, turn around.
It's an open court.
Yeah. It's taped.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
It's on all the beginning of the tape, too.
All right, Mr. Arcel, Esquire asked you, when did they start changing? You said as soon as they okayed it, is that correct?
When I okayed the plan, the plan was taken out.
Okay, in the original plan you okayed, what did that entail?
The four-point plan was already read into
That was not the original plan.
I object. The evidence has already been presented. It obviously was the original plan. If you want further evidence of that, we can whip out like 4 more books and
Whip out. He already tried.
Give me that evidence again. Let's roll it out. Yeah.
Jeff, I'd like to read that book so we didn't done without your evidence.
Yeah, can we please state the evidence from the last time and this time?
We're going to give you photocopies of everything. Well, it's you.
We want to read the book.
You're going to give us locked down photocopies, or you're going to give us a full page
We're going to give you the whole piece. We always do. I know, but he's objecting. We're waiting for his finish to object.
We'll give you 1 minute.
This is a recess or what?
I don't know. He's objection. I don't know what he's doing.
Alex, sit down for a minute.
4 days.
Your Honor.
Okay, let's cool with this witness. We'll pick up tomorrow. We gotta wrap it up now.